This is the area where Baba had given darshan for the first time when he came to the hospital. And here is the place, a stone there. Just, Jara Kaso. Kaso. Here is a stone there outside where Baba was seated there. Though he was offered a chair, he did not sit there. But on the stone he gave darshan and distributed prasad to all the inmates of the sanatorium and all the staff. And he said that this hospital is very fortunate that I am here and giving prasad to all the inmates. Even the beggar patients who are the inmates of the hospitals were given darshans, and all were very happy to see him here. Start. Jai Baba. I would like to speak now a few anecdotes. The thing what I had personal conversation with Baba. One day he asked me, would you like to be a must? I said, no, Baba, I would not like, provided if you wish to, I cannot deny. He said, that Jim also told me the same thing. Jim also told me the same thing. Now, another incident. One day there were about 200, 300 Baba lovers were seated in a hall. And there was, musician hadn't come in time. So Baba looked around, who will entertain me? He was always making fun of me. And he says, Alu will entertain us. So Alu have a song. I was perspired and I was trembling like anything, like a leaf. But I had to sing. And I sang a song which I preferred that one day I would sing to Baba. Half a line I sang in my hoarse voice. And he says, now keep quiet, all are feeling sleepy. So this is the humorous side, the way in which Baba makes everybody laugh. But he breaks down your ego, that you are nothing. Another thing, one day Baba had come to Panchgani at my place. There was all the time, there was noise going on. Many had heard it. I hadn't heard it. So when Baba came for 3 days to stay there, women Mandali who were in the same room, same bedroom, heard the noise as the others had heard it. So they were just whispering what it could be at night time. I did not get up because I was tired. So in the morning, Baba asked me, did you hear the noise, what these women are saying? I said, no, Baba, I didn't hear. But very often, those who want to get the bungalow, they are throwing stones at night time to scare the inhabitants away. So it must be this. So Baba said, no, it was the spirit. And I came down to this place to liberate the spirit.
It was a spirit then.
Baba said that he had come down to liberate the spirit. So he had come down to Panchgani at my place. Then one day when I was at Meherabad, Baba called me and he said that your cousin was asking me that particular boy to whom you want to get married. If I tell you, will you do what I tell you? I will do whatever you tell me. Then he told me, don't think of him at all. I will give you a very good husband. And this was the gesture which I will never forget. Years passed on. Say about 15 to 20 years. One day he asked me, in a Guru Prasad, when the Mandali was there, few Mandali was there, he says, are you married? I said, yes, Papa. To whom are you married? Then I pointed him out. It is you, Baba. And he was very, very happy. So the words, what he tells us, it always comes true. Really give me a very good husband. Now, one day, he told me, he gave me in charge at Guru Prasad of a Mali's son. He was a small child of few months old, and he had asked me to look after him. Then he said, that see that this child should be saved. You must do your level best. He should not die. So Dr. Grant of Pune, he was in his hospital, the child was kept. I did all I could, and doctor helped me, did all his best, but a child died. He said that if the child dies, I will throw you into a well. And the child died, and I was so sorry, and I fell ill, seriously ill. So to say, I was on point of death, but he did not allow me to die, and today I am surviving. Now once when I was to be operated for cancer, Baba sent message to me through Arnavaj. Tell her that nothing will happen to her for long 10 years. I will see later on what to do. So at the end of this, I was with Baba for 1.5 years in his Pippalgaon. I was looking after the patients, and Gaver was looking after Baba. I was looking after the Mandali. So it so happened that I had to go to Bombay for medical checkup, and I cried bitterly to Baba. I told Baba that you had told me that I will give you 10 years. So 10 years are nearing, and you want me to send back for medical checkup? If I die, I want to die at your feet. I don't want to go to city at all. Baba said, yes, you have got to go, because doctor says that you have got to do this medical checkup. This is the way Baba wanted us to be away from him when he was in agony. And before, he said that I will call you in January. Remember, I will definitely call you. So I was sent away at the end of November. December we were called for congregations. Then Gaver wanted my help very badly, medical help. So she said, Baba, now she is quite all right. Can I call her? Says, no, I will call her. And he did call me, 31st of January. I had to come to Meherabad on 31st of January when he dropped his body. So his words never fails. So if I can give you the idea how we received the message, what happened. When I was at Arnavaj's place, telephone call came at 4 o'clock. She picked up the receiver, and Adi phones from the other side saying that Baba has dropped his body. I couldn't hear what he was saying, but Arnavaj shouted, is it true? Is it true? So I was just asking, what has happened? She repeatedly asked him, and Adi asked him to compose herself, and she could not resist. She put her head down on the table and put the receiver back. I just asked her, what has happened? I thought that somebody is dead, but I could never imagine or think. Then she came down to Baba's room, where Baba's photo is there, and she told me, Baba dropped his body. We could not hear, we could not understand whether it is true. I could not realize. I bowed down at the photo, saying, oh Baba, what? Is it true? Is it true? And at once the Arnava started, thought of going to Meherabad. Sarosh was informed who had come down to Bombay, that he should take Arnavaz, Nariman and Katie to Baba's place. Within 15-20 minutes, they all started. And I had to go in another car, which was to be started, 4 or 5 cars, with nearest Baba lovers. We all started at 9 o'clock in the evening. Roads were very bad because under repair. And the boys were very tired, those who were driving. They were asking us, oh, you do speak something so that we can keep awake. But we could not speak anything. There was dead silence in the car. All the car, and the boys were feeling sleepy on the steering. They were so tired. Then at 1 o'clock at night time, they got down and took tea. And they requested us repeatedly, do speak something. What can we speak? Anyway, we came down to Nagar at 4 o'clock and we were taken to the hill. There it was moonlight, very faint moonlight, and only one Petromax. Otherwise the lanterns were there. And we few people, handful of people, because the others had gone away. When we first saw the body lying in the crypt, we could not cry. Tears were drawn in. We could see the Baba full of garlands lying there in the crypt, as if it would speak just now, a living thing. Like that, the hours passed, and we were moving. Not a voice, not a noise. Even our walking was so silent, and it was dead silence at night time. The next day in the morning when the sun rose, we could not understand what to do. We all were so dazed. Just we walked, we moved about. We were near the tomb, away from the tomb, and all were trying to inform their relatives, but it was too difficult. How to inform them? Because we received the news that the Bob D will be interned the next day at 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock passed, then they said that no, body will be kept as long as the body could remain. And we did inform our nearest one. And they could not get train and bus in time, but anyway they came. And on third day, whole Meherabad was full of people. Says that thousands of people had come. But as if there is only one soul, hardly anybody could cry. They were all moving, lifeless. Nobody had the energy to ask anybody what had happened. And they were talking in whispers. We were going off and on whenever we were allowed to go to the tomb. And at last, we came to know the body will be interned after 7 days, because some hint was given by Baba. And the 7th day came. People came. People were to be accommodated all at once, but they had to stay day and night near Baba as much as they could. The pathetic songs were going on. And nearest one, who wanted to be too close to Baba, they could not get the glimpse of Baba. There were so many, and we were afraid that if many could remain inside, the body will have some effect on it. But Baba was as fresh as anything. And on the 7th day, it was the very sad moment when Baba was interned. All were given the handful of this dust to be thrown into the crypt. So it was too many. So we had to touch only the vessels. The wish was to be thrown into the crypt. This is the ending, which would never go away from our memory. But what it was. Sometimes it looked as if it was a festival day, because hundreds were there, coming, going. But beauty of it, hardly people could cry. Tears were absolutely dry. There were no tears in anybody's eyes. And this is the last portion I could say. Jai Baba to all. One day, Baba was in Guru Prasad, and about 200 to 300 Babas, near lovers, were there. And the musician was to come. So Baba asked me that, Alu, will you sing? I was drenched with perspiration. How can I sing? Where was the voice? But anyway, Baba's order could be carried. So I did sing in such a voice that as soon as I finished the half line, Baba said, keep quiet. Now all are feeling sleepy. And by the time the musician came, he had ordered me not to put on the specs. And I was not putting on specs for 4 to 5 years. But always he was asking me, how many fingers are there? How many fingers are there? My number was -10 at that time. And I could hardly see. He was asking me, when in Guru Prasad from the long distance, can you see my face? I said, no, Baba. Only I can see the outline, but not your eyes and exact features. So after 4 or 5 years, he let loose disorder and he allowed me to put on specs. Now my number is -14. But with grace of Baba, I can see and can work. Baba once asked me, when I was staying with him for 1.5 years before he dropped his body as a medical attendant, he asked me, would you have stayed with me in my beginning if I had called you? I said, I don't know, Baba. He says, no, definitely no. Because I had such a cushy life that I would never have been able to put up with all the difficulties which the dear lovers of Baba had done it. So after training me for 20 years, he brought me to his ashram. And then I could understand that, yes, Baba was right. Baba was right. I would not have been able to put up with it. Yes. Now, when I was in when I was in Pipalgaon attending Dasturji, as he had fractured his leg, I was there. He was calling me mostly every morning and inquiring about the health. And then he was telling me, how fortunate you are that this time of the year, when I'm not seeing anybody, those who are crying and wailing and was anxious to see me, not a moment glance I'm giving them, but I have asked you to come and stay with me. You are staying with me, eating with me, and you are having your life with me. Really, you are very, very fortunate. This sentence he told me repeatedly, not once, but repeatedly.
That's what he means when he says
Yes.
what does that mean?
Very fortunate, meaning here fortune. So always when you are fortunate, you are very fortunate that you are staying with me.
That was Baba's sign.
Yes, fortune. It is a common sign too. For one who is fortunate, we say how fortunate we are, because fortune is over here. Once I was thinking about something which I said, oh Baba, help that person to come nearer to you. It was at Mera Bat Hill, and I had gone for Mera's birthday. And I was thinking and thinking, deeply engrossed in thinking. Baba was at that time in Mera's room, and we were all women were outside where there is a dining room at present. You see the Baba's sofa is there. I was seated there and I was thinking. All of a sudden Baba rushed out from his room and he did this sign to me. I do not know, but it has got some meaning with the connection of the thought. what I had in my mind, and he replied me that way. But this was the sign he did it. Yes, and then dot. It isn't ba in Persian, something like that, but he did it like that. We do not know what was the meaning. One day, Baba asked me, when I was with him in Pipalgaon, it was a silence day, and he told me to cut a mango. I cut it so shabbily, because I was so nervous. Whenever I was near Baba, I was feeling very nervous. So I could not cut it. So he called all the female women Mandali and said, look at her, how she is cutting the mango. Even she does not know how to cut a mango. And such fun. If for a moment, even if you make Baba laugh, it is our great joy. Then he was telling me to tell the story, wonderful story, beautiful story. And I was telling him very humorous stories, one after the other. Every day one story. First I related to Mera. Thereafter Baba told me to relate to him when he was taking lunch in the afternoon. So I was relating him beautiful stories. Then Baba told me that what you are doing at present. So I said, Baba, I had written down a long story, but no magazine could accept it. He said, is it so? So write down another story. I said, Baba, when one story is not sold, it is a waste of time and waste of paper and money. He says, no, I am telling you to write down. You do write down. Immediately I came down to Bombay. That was the time when he had kept me for 5 months in 1968. So when I came down to Bombay after 5 months, that story was taken into magazine at once without my asking. That person asked for the story. And another story, what he had asked me to write, I was writing and writing, thinking that as Baba has asked it. But I could not finish it. For 1 year it took. I had no time and I was busy with something or the other. Then afterwards, when Kavir's mother was ill, I was looking after her. And then I thought, when she is a little bit better, I will finish that story there. Anyway, she expired, and Baba told me to stay 10 days more into Nagar. So I had the opportunity to finish that story. And when I took that story to Baba, it was a unique story by itself, which I cannot describe you. But it was Baba who made me write this story. When it was offered to him by Arnavaz, because I was not there when the story was given to me, Baba took the book in his hand and he just opened it, pages after pages. And he had such beautiful expressions, different expressions, Arnavaz says, when he was turning these pages. Sometimes he was very glorious, sometimes he was very sad, sometimes his expressions changes so much that she said that what he is doing with this. Then he ended this story to Airaj. Airaj handed it back to Arnavaz. Baba said, no, write down to Alu that I am not going to give her this story for publication. You keep it. He asked the Gavir to keep that story, and I will give her, and when I will give her the story, she should get it printed or whatever way she liked. Story is still with me because the day never came when Baba could give it, and it was his intention to keep that as a sacred memory, and it is with me. The book, the pages, what he had handled and what he had fondled. Now this Baba's ways are so wonderful. So one day, when all of a sudden at Guru Prasad, he called me. It was the last day, a day before last, where he was to go from Guru Prasad to his Meherabad. So he called me and my cousin and said, if I take you to Meherabad, would you like to come with me? I said, yes, Baba, I will be very happy. Then he said, I want to take you for 10 days. Remember, for 10 days only, nothing more. I said, yes, Baba, that too will be a great thing for me. So he told my cousin, remember, I will keep her only for 10 days. Then he asked me, how much clothes you are going, how many clothes you are going to take with you? Then I said, the trunk what I have brought to Pune for staying for 3 months, that very trunk I will take it with me. He said, no, 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 a small bag. Then he pointed out the size of the bag. So I thought, really for 10 days to carry these things? So I took only a small bag I borrowed from somebody. And when I went with him, instead of 10 days, he kept me for 5 months. And when I came back, my big trunk was full because the clothes were given from all the different Mandali people. This is the way Baba tests you. And I never dreamt that he will keep me for so many days. I was sure that he will keep me for 10 days. And last time when I said, I do not want to part with you, he said that you go and I will call you. And he did call me. These are his ways, wonderful ways. And the experience what he gives, it is ever to be remembered and never to be forgotten. Jai Baba. Baba never gives encouragement for the miracles what we experience. So when I was working, all of a sudden my health broke and Baba ordered me to go out of the town, leaving all my work. So I had to wind up my work and to go. There at Dumas, where we had stayed, I was with her. One day, Nargis told me that, would you like to have meditation? So I said, I can't concentrate for a minute. How can I meditate? So she said that Baba had told us that you have to look at the sea and think me as a sea, an ocean, and meditation, that will be the great meditation. So we went actually to the sea, and Nargis sat on a tree which had a big branch. She just relaxed there, and I was near at her feet, thinking and seeing ocean. All of a sudden, within half a minute or so, a voice I heard, such a voice which I cannot describe, and such a bright light that I closed my eyes tightly. Still the rays were going inside, and the voice said, first I'll speak in very language, the voice I heard. Hu Allah no nur chon, Hu Allah no nur chon, Hu Allah no nur chon. 3 times the voice repeated the meaning, I am the light of God, I am the light of God, I am the light of God. And I burst out crying to such an extent because the joy was unlimited. Nargis at once told me, don't worry, she understood. And this was my first experience, which I did not understand even. He said, don't worry. It is, Baba must have given you some experience. I said, yes, take me home. But I could not walk. I was limping. Such joy was there. And I wrote to Baba about this experience. Thereafter, many experiences came. Baba never encourages such experiences. He says these are also passing. These are also a dream into a dream. Do not give any importance. And such number of incidents we had. But that was the first which gave me a great shock. The others, I could say, that Baba's ways of working, he make us understand through the experiences. So the way in which this experience is, if we take it, that it is a miracle, nothing like that. As Baba said, these are dream into a dream. Now I can, one day Baba told in front of the Mandali for Nariman. Baba said, Nariman, I am your son. And all were really very happy to hear that. And 15th of March 1965, Arnavaj's birthday was there, and we were having a feast there, and Baba wire came, which I read you verbatim. He writes to Arnavaj, my love and blessings to you, who are one of the brightest jewels in my divine treasury. Give my love to my dear Nariman, who holds this jewel to his heart in trust for me. So Baba knows the value of each and everybody, and with such appreciations we can understand that each are great in their own way. Get up.
Begin.
Begin. I thought I'd get up. In last seclusion, when Baba was very, very strict, I was there in Pippalgaon. He was so strict that even our walking steps would disturb him. One day, Baidul sneezed loudly, and he was so much annoyed and disturbed that he asked Baidul to sit few furlongs away from this Mandali whenever he was doing in work in the hall. When we were walking nearby to get something, we had to take our slippers in the hand so that even the pebbles did not make. One day, I dropped a vessel from my hand, and I was so much frightened that Baba would scold me, definitely would scold me and drive me away. Fortunately, Baba did not tell me anything. He said, that area of 1 mile of my working, I do not want any noise, even the birds making noise. Meru was asked, or somebody was asked, to drive it away. But he said, outside let there be any noise, but not inside the area where I'm working. And this was the thing what I saw and what I heard with my own eyes I saw and ears I heard. During the silence, Baba was so engrossed in his higher plane that in order to keep himself down on the earth, he was just thumping his leg, which had become so dark. And we presume, may be right, may not be right, that the noise round about him was disturbing him and was bringing him down to this earth level. That's what I presume. I may be right or wrong, I cannot say.
How often did Baba thump his leg?
We were not seeing. We were not seeing what he was doing, but all this portion was black. So much, because nobody was allowed to see. Nobody was allowed to come in. He was closing the doors when he was working. Jai Baba to all the Baba lovers of the world. those who love him and those who are going to come to him. Jai Baba to all. May Baba bless you all. Baba's blessings are always with you. Jai Baba.